Greetings, mortals. Brimthen here, and I want to start off this podcast by saying that this is going to be considered Season 2 of Brimthen's Babbles. The first season has a lot of inconsistencies where I was kind of growing as a streamer and getting used to things, as well as not having a beard, and my beard, you can kind of watch my beard grow throughout the entire Brimthen Babbles Season 1. And I'm calling this Season 2 because we have increased our quality by as much as we can. And with Season 2, I'm introducing newer and interestinger people over time. And today we have RedThePastor, who is joining us over here on Discord. I want to welcome him to here. For those of you that don't know what Brimthen Babbles is, it is a podcast I do where pretty much anybody's welcome to come on as long as they have something interesting to talk about. So, to start things off, I found Red here on TikTok, and he does a lot of debates on his lives. And I want to just start out by saying I really do commend you for going into the debate battle like that, putting yourself out there and letting anybody kind of come up and talk to you about different topics and go back and forth in this kind of ring of battle that is conversation. And I really have a lot of respect and honor towards anybody, regardless of what their topic is, because putting yourself out there in a vulnerable kind of area takes a lot of guts. So thank you for coming on to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, man. So yeah, I stream on TikTok. I do have a Twitch, and I've been thinking about kind of messing around with that a little bit again, because I used to, but I was trying to do like video games, and that just really didn't fit me well. But yeah, I am a pastor in real life. Is like what I do full time. And I started streaming on TikTok, and it really kind of, I don't want to say blew up, but it kind of just blew up out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. I kind of just figured there would be like me and 5 people every once in a while, you know? But it took one day. I just turned on live because I was sitting there. I didn't have anything to do, and I was sitting in my office, and I turned it on. And for about 30 minutes, 1 or 2 or 3 people would pop in, and they'd view it for a little bit, maybe say something, and then they'd be gone, and that was fine. And then all of a sudden somebody came in and they were being hateful, which is the usual mantra of trolls on TikTok. And they came in and they started, telling me how, idiot I am or whatever. And then I look up and it was like 20, and I was like, okay. I looked down and, commented on the chat, looked up, it was at 50. And then I was like, okay. And then before I know it, I was like at 200 viewers, and it's just kind of grown up, from there. So that was kind of how I got it started. So.
Yeah. And TikTok is a very, very strange place when it comes to stuff like this. 'Cause if you get like a few people in there and they stick around, and it becomes a few more people, and it grows like you're talking about. You can get up 200, 1,000 viewers on your TikTok lives, just with a little bit of a ignition and a little bit of gas, and whoop, it'll go up there real fast.
Yeah, man. I didn't really expect it to do anything, and then it did, and I was like, wow, I could really use this to preach the gospel, and and talk to people, and not like when you say debate, like it is debate, but I'm not trying to go in and just and be rude to people. I want to talk to people and hear them out and let them hear me out. And you're not going to always get that, of course, but I generally have a good time with it. Most of the people, I mean, 90% of the time, people come in and they're cool, and we have a good conversation. There's sometimes where we don't, and so. But
I've seen a bit of both on your lives, because I've been in and out of them every now and then. And on the topic of debate and whatnot, a lot of people, especially those that haven't been into a debate field before, kind of confuse arguments and debates, because debate should be this open and free use of language where you can talk about basically any topic and break it down. And it's not necessarily to convince or even change the mind of the other person. It is to relay, this is what's going on, these are the things that's going on, and then the other person to kind of rebuttal back and say, no, this is what this is what that is. And when it comes to kind of social media in general, especially, Facebook arguments is the best answer. Some people call it debating on Facebook, but no. You're just name calling and trying to ruffle each other's feathers, doing the best you can to anger the other person. And I've always found that kind of stuff kind of funny. But even on further on the topic of debate, it gets kind of crazy even when you get up into the upper echelons of higher up TV and everything, because you get some of these hosts that are called debaters, but they have this crowd that's clapping for every word that they say. So when you put yourself in a room where the crowd's on the other person's side, you get into this where you could be very right and the other person could be very wrong, but because they sound more right, the overall feel of the debate changes. And I don't even call those really debates. Those are kind of falsehoods in my opinion. So,
well, I noticed a lot of times in my live streams, following the rules of debate. Okay. To me, and this is kind of something that I say on every time somebody's going to come on is, hey man, I'll give you, or girl, whatever. I'll give you a chance to speak, but you have to give me a chance to speak. And I'm not going to sit here and yell over you. If it comes to that and we're sitting here trying to yell over each other, I'm just going to cut you off and go to the next person. And I'm like, and if they have a problem with that and they do that, I'll try to get to a point where I'm like, okay, look, hey, stop. I'm going to cut you off. Okay. You got to go. We're going to debate. We're not going to sit here and yell at each other. Like that's entertainment, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. And a lot of times I'll notice, there'll be people that come in and I would say probably half of my chat is against me when they come in, and that's fine. But they'll say, oh, guess W. And I'm like looking and I'm like, are you serious? That was a W? Okay, sure. Yeah, that was really a W there for them because they had no idea what they were talking about, But I don't know. It's been good, man. I've gotten to do what I wanted to do with it. So
yeah, I always laugh at the ones that do the 2-word answers of like guess W or host L or whatever, because I always think that is super funny, because it's like, okay, so you have nothing else to add. Like you have oh yeah, he's right because yada 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 or whatever. Like you have nothing to add to the conversation except that you just think the other person's winning.
Yeah.
When
it's not even them thinking they're winning. That's just they agreed with what they were saying, regardless of what evidence or what argument they had to back it up. They agreed with it beforehand, so that's what they're gonna say wins.
And it's similar in that construct of, you take one little snidbit and that means their whole argument's correct. It doesn't matter if 99% is incorrect. That 1% was right, and that's all that matters to them. For me, because I listen to a lot of debates. I love that kind of I like language in general. And it's always funny to me when people go, well, he was right because it's this one reason that he was right. And I'm like, everything else was wrong though. We got to kind of take it as a whole,
Yeah. Sure. But
oh man.
Well, as soon as I can get back on TikTok at 4 a.m. Tomorrow, I will, continue streaming again. But I got banned for hate speech, which really means a bunch of people didn't agree with my idea, and so they mass reported me.
Yeah.
And so I got banned. And really,
hold on.
And because when I first started, I was like, oh, mods, I actually need mods. Like, I didn't think I would ever need mods, so I got a couple, to help me out. And then I was like, at the point we were doing that last stream I did, I was like, man, I need like 20 mods because this is out of control. But I saw people in there saying, mass report him, mass report him, mass report him. And I'm thinking, okay, whatever, mass report me, I don't care. And then all of a sudden, like, we're in the middle, I was in the middle of talking to somebody, and I could tell it was going to be a good conversation. Like, we were about to actually have a good conversation. And then it's like, you've been suspended for hateful behavior. And I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? So
Yeah, and I was there for that moment. You had like 250 something people watching at the time, and it was a very good conversation up until that, like, just that little moment. It was like, live has ended, and I was like, he just got kicked. I knew immediately that was probably what it was, sadly. And that's a really sad thing to talk about, because like I said, the free and open use of language is very important to me, and I don't really care what topic that you're talking about. It could be the worst thing on the planet. For us to stop talking about anything is the death of that topic, and it is not good as a human society to start pushing away any topic. You know, everything should be at least open to debate at the very, very, very minimum. And again, I've been in and out of yours, and we have some ideologies that align, I will admit, but I'm a bit open to listening to people's criticisms, and I have never heard you be hateful to anybody. See, there's a difference between being hateful and just talking about something. I can sit here and talk about a topic, you know, how much I, you know, hate a game or something, but that doesn't mean that it's technically hateful, you know. I might dislike something, or it might be my opinion, but an opinion doesn't necessitate, you know, really that strong of a visceral feeling, in my opinion, because I don't know, I was growing up maybe a little bit with thicker skin, you know. It's more of you let it bother you more than the person saying the words are letting it bother you, because like, if one of my best friends right now came up to me and was like, you know, cursed me out or whatever, it would roll off my back like a duck, because I don't allow that to bother me. I move on with my day, you know? And it is a very slippery slope to start censoring and to start banning people for open and happy use of language and opinions.
Yeah, man.
Even though, and I will, you know, I err on this side of things, it's very hard to call religious topics an opinion, because there have been many people die with that, you know, religious thought in their head, and it was definitely not an opinion to them. So that I do err on that edge of a line, because, you know, you kind of have to separate it a little bit, because there's academia and debate and opinions, and it's all kind of in its own sphere of topics.
Well, and it kind of comes back to, we all do have to agree that there can only be one truth. Okay, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, there has to be one truth. There isn't a truth for you and a truth for me. Then something's false. Okay, there isn't multiple truths. There's only one truth. And so, in my opinion, the truth is that God is real and Jesus Christ died and rose again. That is truth to me. My opinion. That's my truth. Well, I shouldn't say that's my truth, because then, you know what I mean? Because people say that.
No, I get it.
Well, that's your truth. That's not my truth. Well, no, because there can only be one truth. So I'm either right or I'm wrong. And you can say, well, I think you're wrong. And that's fine. And when I say, well, I think this certain behavior is a sin, then that's the truth that I say is, you know, it's truth, and it's my opinion that is truth. That doesn't mean you should report it and censor it because you don't agree with it. That doesn't make any sense. People should be allowed to have opinions, and if you don't agree with their opinion, that's fine. If you don't want to watch a streamer because you don't agree with them, that's fine. Go to another stream. You know, you don't have to watch that one. So I don't know. I'm not angry about it. I was pretty mad when it happened, but I'm not angry about it now, because I just realized that's something I'm gonna have to deal with, and I'm gonna have to try to be careful and try not to, you know, say certain things or put maybe certain things. I think that'll probably be the kicker, is I can't put certain things up there that will immediately have someone come in and saying, oh, I don't agree with that, and then reporting me. I'm going to have to be careful about that, you know, to try not to get banned, but I'm also going to have to get more mods, man. I'm going to have more mods, like, seriously, because I can't have people in there saying mass report him, and then, you know, them actually doing it.
And that's the thing about the mass reporting part. Like, you're not really doing a good service to try to get rid of somebody like that, because you can always make another TikTok. You can always there's always ways of rebuilding and doing different stuff. So mass reporting just delays whatever's going on, and honestly, in my opinion, it makes them look more like a fool than anything else, because you weren't really doing anything wrong. Like we were saying, there's only one truth, and we can have 10 people in a room, and all 10 of them have an entirely different worldview, an entirely different opinion, an entirely different ideal system, an entirely different religion. All 10, magically. One of them is either correct or all of them are wrong, and somebody outside the room is right. But at least one person somewhere is going to be correct on this topic. Sure, whether or not any of those 10 are is a whole other different, and that's where the debate and the opinions come from. It's a little bit of hate towards a particular group, because I would almost bet you money, if you were of other religions that aren't in the Christianity faith, so to speak, they would probably have never taken you off. Like, even if it was entirely stronger, even worse opinions, you would have probably been safe, because you're just not Christian, there's just a little bit of just anti that. So
and I won't go and put any other religions on blast on your stream.
You could tell I was being a little careful there.
Yeah. But there's other religions that are violent and tell people to go be violent toward other people, but I see that people displaying that religion on there all the time. And I'm like, do you guys know what their religion tells them to do? And like, they'll deny it all day long, but you can go read that for yourself. But it's like, if you would actually, like, if we would stop and just think common sense wise, like, okay, wait, their religion is telling them to come and kill me because I don't believe what they believe. There's nowhere, and people like to bring up the Crusades, and they say, oh, well, Christianity, the Crusades is terrible. Yeah, I totally agree. The Roman Catholic Church did the Crusades, and it was a horrible thing. Nobody is saying that was okay, but there's nothing in the Bible that's telling a Christian today to go kill anyone. Yeah, sure, God told the Israelites to go and wipe out a pagan nation, but if we're following the Bible, for one, they'll say on the same hand that the Bible's not true. Okay, well, so which is it? Is the Bible not true, or are you against them going and wiping out the evil nation? But God tells them to go do that. Okay, that's fine. That was a certain group of people. There's no command for a Christian that follows the Bible to go and kill anyone or be hateful to anyone. There's no command for that ever. So anyway,
and in fact,
I just don't see how people can say Christianity is a religion of hate.
Yeah. In fact, there's verses about obeying the laws of the land, and the underground church stuff, not raising out against the government and just kind of being more underground and practicing the laws of the land while still being in the faith. So sure. It's kind of a poor argument when they make that, honestly, at the end of the day. Yeah. But for me, and this is where I kind of want to say a couple things about myself. I usually stay away from religion. I don't talk about these topics too often on streams, because it's not necessarily my brand on things. But I identify as a Christian. I call myself non-denominational. And for me, I grew up, and you'll probably kind of find it funny that I'm having you on when I have like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie. I got all this like creepy stuff. I got like skeletons and liches popping up all over the place and the reason for that, and it's a funny reason actually. When I was growing up, I was very hardcore goth, but I was still a Christian. What it was I listened to things like oh man, now I'm drawing a blank on things. Demon Hunter, Pillar, a lot of people don't know this, but there's actually Christian death metal. It's called white metal. And
really?
Yeah. Demon Hunter, Storm the Gates of Hell, for example. It literally they pull passages from the Bible that are a bit brutal, like broken teeth, a shattered jaw, 10 to 1, behold my God, which is a verse from the Bible, but it's also really good metal lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
And the band is very big on reaching out to kids that are growing up goth or growing up in like metalhead kind of setups, but giving them more kind of cleaner, not as crazy lyrics and whatnot. And they have some of the, like, for me, I got a bunch of vinyl records back here. I am very particular on my metal music, okay? And I'll tell you, Demon Hunter, like, particularly Storm the Gates of Hell, is one of the most metal songs on the planet, and it's a Christian song. And it's funny to me when people bring up, like, you know, like, Christian music is never any good and stuff. I'm like, just say it's the right stuff. There's some really good stuff out there.
I might argue with you if that's actually a Christian song. I might say it's positive rock, but you know, either way.
No, they're straight up a Christian band. Well, that's the whole genre is called white metal, instead of death metal and that kind of thing. And large portion of it is what you would find in other Christian music. For example, if I can pull any quick ones out my mind right quick.
Say hi to my wife on your stream.
Hello. But anyway, there is Christian metal and Christian rock out there, which I think is just fascinating. And there's a lot of other bands besides Pillar and Demon Hunter. But I grew up like that, and I kind of had that mixed duality of loving horror and creepy stuff while at the same time going out and still being Christian and everything. And I found myself in these social circles that pertain to other goths and whatnot, and they always had questions, like a whole bunch of questions. And I ended up convincing a large portion of friends back in the day to go towards Christ at one point. So I was pretty happy with that. And my whole channel has been dedicated to this don't judge a book by its cover type deal, where it's a play on, you know, it's creepy, it's weird, it's full of skeletons and weird stuff, but you know, my message has always been positive and uplifting and motivational of, you know, do your best. My motto on here is every day is a great day, some are just tougher than others. And that's kind of like my way of semi-leading by example to groups that would be, you know, slightly different than your average. You know, bring me your freaks and your creepy, and bring me your outcasts. I love them. I'll give them a big hug every day.
Yeah, for sure, man. We need the Christian faith needs people that are willing to do that, because, you know, I would say that a lot of there's a lot of Christians that are only going to talk to one or a certain type of people. You know, they're only going to talk to people that are in their type of culture and things. And I'm not going to say that's a good thing, but it is a good thing that there are people that need to be like what some Christians would say, oh, you know, that's a little weird that they do that, you know, that's a little strange. Or, you know, like I'm taking our youth group to go see Skillet in a little while.
Skillet's awesome.
Yeah, I love Skillet, man. We're gonna go see them in it's a few weeks, and there's a lot of people in our church that would be like, if they heard Skillet, they'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, they can't listen to that. But you know, that's not at all what it's about. But you know, I don't know.
Even more so with Demon Hunter, because they literally, Skillet and Demon Hunter is basically the same one, just slightly harder genre of being metal.
Yeah, yeah, and I've never listened to him. I can't really get into the metal stuff much. I like hard rock music. You know, I was in well, we're about the same age, so like when I was in school, like I like Papa Roach, man. That was my dude. I like Papa Roach. You know, that's kind of my style. But so anyway, yeah, I mean, hopefully I get off my ban at 4 a.m. and I can stream tomorrow for the first time in a week. Hopefully, if what people are saying is true, you know, if it's not, then I'm banned till what, July, but or June, July, yeah, July.
That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah. So it like somebody said that they use the European dating style or whatever, and so it says like 7 like 07-01. And so when I immediately saw that, I thought, July 1st? Are you kidding me? You know? But somebody said that, no, it's only a week. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see.
I wish I had a better answer on that, but yeah, I have no idea if it's July or January, because I've not been banned and I haven't had a timer at all on TikTok for me to have that situation. So
I get them all the time. Like yesterday, somebody, and it's probably one of those guys that was in there saying master report, because of course I couldn't live stream, but I could still post. I could still post videos. And so I posted a few videos, describing what happened and telling people what happened, because there's a lot of people that were asking what happened. So I posted a few videos talking about it. And some guy, it was just one of the guys that's being hateful. He was accusing me of being hateful, but he comes in and comments on my stuff that is hateful, And he added me yesterday to some other pastor somewhere, and this pastor was a super liberal theology. He wasn't a pastor. It's a joke is what it was. I honestly think it's a parody account. I don't even think he might be a real pastor, and if he is, then he will stand one day before God and be judged for what he's doing. But he said, he commented and added me and said, you need to listen to this guy. And I go and I look at it and I commented something like, this guy obviously is either making a big joke out of all this, or he has no knowledge of the Bible whatsoever. And somebody, we commented a couple times, and I never said anything hateful. And somebody said, like, what's your argument? And I posted like a Bible verse, not even the verse, just like the text reference. And I was like, it's not my opinion. This is what the Bible says. And I posted the Bible reference. A few minutes later, I look at my phone and I give a notification that I'm no longer allowed to post. I've been temporarily banned from posting. And I'm like, for what? And I go, and it's because people reported that comment. They reported that comment, and it took my comment off. And of course, I appealed it. And when they have a mod come and look at it, he said, okay, no, that isn't something they could report, which kudos to TikTok for that, I guess.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I was really surprised. And so they put my comment back in there, but I'm still banned from posting. Like, come on, y'all. You're failing here. So.
And that's what's so interesting to me. Like, for example, in the scenario that you're giving there, you've just said you disagree with what it is, and then you just gave a Bible verse. That is an opinion, and then a Bible verse at the end of the day. Like, for it to be hateful, you've got to demean someone's character or be diminishing to someone's character. Right. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, if I sat here and just started calling you names and just being like, oh, Red's this, that, and the other, like that would be hateful. That would be me trying to demean you and diminish your character. Whereas the other part is just me going, hey, I don't know, I don't like the color red, which is an accurate statement.
Red's my thing, man. It's like my favorite thing.
Red is my least favorite thing, and I hate tomatoes.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't actually like tomatoes either. I love ketchup though.
If you go check out the channel points, if you go to change my light color on my channel points, you will see that red is not an option for changing the light color in the background. You'll see in the rules for it, no refunds on red or mistakes.
But you're right, man. Like, you can't. I don't know how somebody can be so sensitive, as in that you don't agree with their opinion, and so you immediately feel like their opinion needs to be removed.
Yeah.
Even if I had a stupid opinion, I have a right to have that stupid opinion. Everybody has the right to be wrong. That's something I tell myself all the time, that everyone has the right to be wrong. And so even if I don't agree with you, that's your right to believe that. And I'm an American. I know TikTok isn't really an American app. I think it's based out of Beijing, which is probably
Don't start bringing China down on us now. Easy, easy.
Well, you know. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, we might need to be careful in Twitch. Huh? But
America, that's right.
America, exactly, man. I believe we should have free speech and we should be able to say what we want, even if we don't agree with that. And that goes all the way both ways. Even things that I don't agree with, I feel like people should have the right to say them. And I can get really crazy with that, but and I won't do it. It's your streams.
No, it's okay. And speaking further on that one, for me, when it comes to friends, I'm a very open individual. You know, I have a very diverse group of friends, and I've talked to them. We have our own little kind of private conversations about things and discussions and debates. Because I kind of surround myself with people that are not necessarily like-minded, but like-thinking, where, you know, if we don't agree, we can still be friends. We can still go get a beer, hang out, do whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're still friends. It's just we might not see eye to eye on particular topics. And a lot of people can't do that. And I've met so many people that really misread me in a way, because their first on the get-go is wanting to know the battleground topics of where you stand on things. And for me, I am a lot more than my politics. I'm a lot more than my religion in a way, and I'm a lot more than even this stream or most topics that you would talk about. I can sit here and talk about almost anything. I'm into pottery, photography, videography. I'm into painting, sculpting. Pottery. Yeah, talk about pottery. Yeah, I love pottery. Yeah, sure. Okay. Right. I'm a hobbyist. I could not tell you how many hobbies I'm into. You know, from vinyl records, clay pottery, you name it. And if it's something that I haven't done, I will usually ask you questions if it's something you've done, because I want to be more interested in. I'm just a hobbyist. I like learning as much as I can. And, you know, that is so much larger for me than the topic that you might get angry about because I'm not the correct color of politics, or I'm the correct, you know, aisle of whatever that you align yourself with. And I've always thought it's been funny, because there are some of my best friends have absolutely nothing to do with me on a political, religious level. And we, you know, I would die for some of them. You know what I mean? Like, it would be, they're some of the best people. So for me, a person is a lot more than even just one of their opinions. And when it comes to TikTok and, you know, censorship and stuff, people don't really understand that. It's just, oh, he said this one thing, it's over. That's him. That's his career done. Throw him down in the sewer and flush him out. And I think that is just such a poor way of handling fellow, you know, humans, because all of us are people. All of us are, you know, our own selves. You know, it's not necessarily my right to tell you what to do, but it is by my faith that I lead you towards where you need to be. You know, it's one thing to be forceful. It's another thing to be guiding. If that makes sense. Oh,
I heard something behind me. I kind of lost my train of thought, but so yeah, like you said, my stream, like, that's, you know, I do love to do that and talk to other people about my faith, and I love being able to defend my faith and have good evidence for my faith, and I feel like I put in the time and the study to be able to do that. And so to have a social media thing say, well, you can't do that because, you know, we don't agree with you, that irritates me, because on one hand, I'm like, you know, America was real close at one point of kicking you out of here anyway, and I guarantee you that's where a lot of your users are. So you better be careful. You can't just go around censoring people because you don't agree with them. There's probably things that in every one of my streams where there are people in there, and though we don't agree on, you know, topic of Jesus or things, doesn't mean we can't agree on something. We can't still treat each other like
common ground.
Yeah, we have something that we can agree on. It was just like one guy got in there and he said, I'm a bisexual, conservative Christian. Well, I have like problems with all of that, except like his idea of politics. He's like, I think the government should stay out of our business and stay out of my money. I'm like, I can completely agree with you there, man. Absolutely. You know, yeah, keep them out of my money, keep them out of my paycheck. Absolutely. So I don't know. Like you said, there's much more to RedThePastor than just, you know, talking on a stream. You know, I like to play video games too, man.
Right. You know, at the end of the day, it's funny to me how that stuff can go, you know, because you want to, because like I would fight, and I would absolutely 100% fight for someone else's opinion that I don't agree with, just so that they can have their opinion. Because at the end of the day, if I don't fight for their opinion and they end up taking away my opinion, nobody's going to fight for mine. And I wholeheartedly believe that everybody should fight for everybody's rights, so to speak, because once the government or any other power that may be out there takes it away, they ain't giving it back. No, it don't matter what it is.
And see, everybody, that's what a lot of these people don't understand is, especially like some of the people, atheists and stuff that are coming in my streams that are, you know, glad I'm got banned. Like that's what somebody said, glad for the ban. Hope you learned your lesson. It's like, you know, you're glad for the ban right now while I'm being censored for something that you don't like. But what's going to happen when you can't say what you want to say? When you can't speak about the things that you want to speak about, when you can't do what you want to do, then you're not going to be happy with censorship. But when we start allowing censorship and we start allowing people to direct us what we can say and do, then it's a real slippery slope. Because yeah, one day it might be the Christians that, you know, nobody won't, you know, we don't want to hear them say anything. We don't want to hear what they say. So, well, yeah, we'll censor them. But then tomorrow it could be you that's being censored on what you think or what you believe. It's a real slippery slope, you know.
It is. And things change quick, very quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Things turn on a dime.
Yeah.
But outside of the censorship, outside of all of that, tell us a little bit about Red. What are you into? What's your hobbies?
Dude, and we talked a little bit about this before. I love to play Destiny. Destiny 2 is like one of my favorite games, even though they constantly irritate me with some of the stuff they do. I love playing Destiny. I love hanging out with the boys in Discord. I love to play Rust, but like I was telling you earlier, I love to play Rust. It is super toxic, but and I can never get any of my friends to actually stay like with me on Rust. Every time I get on Rust, they'll get in there and they'll play strong for like 2 days, and then like they'll go out and get killed and lose their whole kit, you know, and they're like, oh man, you know, and they just kind of get burnt out on the game. But so I said Brim loves Rust. Yeah. I am too, man, because I'm like, when somebody kills me and they take my stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm about to find you, I'm about to burn your house down. You know, that's what I think. Not your literal house, your Rust house, but
that's the whole point to Rust.
Yeah, man, that's the whole thing. Is you know, you gotta go with PvP for it, man. That's the fun part about Rust. But man, I don't know. Every time it happens, it's like I have a couple guys they play, and then all of a sudden, here I am solo, and I've done. You know, I came into the server like I got a 6-stack with me, you know? and then it's one little old red fighting this clan of 6 over here, and it's not gonna end well for me. I'm gonna lose everything.
I've gotten so used to the literal scenario that you brought up here that I've created something that I call a Phoenix. It is literally a 1x1 that is all armored up entirely, and it uses the dropper boxes in order to get stuff in and out with beds. So it's like a friggin' 16-18 rocket raid, but it's got the profile of like a cross. It's a 1x1, and it's like a 1x3 with a line in the middle, 1x3. Kind of looks like a cross, and the middle is just like an armored, fully armored like core. And you use a bed or a sleeping bag, to spawn inside of it. You've got 4 boxes, and that has everything you need to build a brand new base that is awesome for what you're doing, for solo running, whatever you're needing. Like 3 kits worth of stuff, and all you got to do is just die, log into the base, put everything in the gobble box, or well, I call them gobble boxes, but they're dropper boxes, and then die. Respawn at the other bed on the outside, pick everything up, and build a new base.
Yeah.
And I call it the Phoenix because, like, no clan on the planet is going to waste all of their rockets and stuff to blow up a single armored wall for 4 armored boxes. There's not enough loot in one single loot room to be worth all of their sulfur. So I always create these things, and it's an armored, and then the cross is made out of, like, stone and whatnot. Because you need at least 1 room to be able to spawn in and out and safely get your stuff. Yeah. So you just put 1 little honeycomb around it, basically.
Yeah, man. I might need to take that up because it's just not working out for me so far.
But yeah, I can usually fit a furnace in it. 4 of the large chests, the 2 dropper boxes, 1 for in and 1 for out. The TC, a lantern, and usually 1 small box. And that is more than enough for a solo to, like, rebuild a franchise.
Yeah.
You know?
Man. Yeah, I might need to look into that because I always like to build bases and kind of not necessarily towers, but if somebody's outside door camping, I like to always be able to, like, look down on them and see who's there, you know? And I've gotten quite a few funny videos of guys sitting at my door, and I heard them. I'll sneak up, and get on top and look down at them, and they don't even know I'm there, and just be like, pop, 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 get them.
We'll have to do a Rust co-op stream sometime because I'm like you. I'll get in there for like a month and just go as hard as I can on it. And it'll be solo usually towards the end.
You can be my grinder. you can be my grinder. Yeah, that's great.
I'm extremely good shot though. I'm just gonna mention.
That's fine too. That's even better. There's some guys in my clan. Like every once in a while, we would like play Ark or something. And I'm kind of a busy guy. I'm a full-time student. I'm like during the winter session, I've taken 5 classes just during the winter session because I'm trying to get done. I'll be done by spring. So I'm doing that. I work full time. And then, I also have a wife and a dog child. I don't know if you can hear him back there, like whining because I'm not getting him. But I got a lot going on. So like when I get on, I don't have a whole lot of time to go out and hit trees and rocks, Not that I don't mind doing those things. I want to go like do the PvP stuff, man. I want to go do the PvP. And so it got to this point where I was playing with this one guy on Ark, and he would he was a grinder. Like he would grind and grind and grind and grind and just get 1,000 stone. And I would like get on and be like, well, let's go do this, let's go blow this up, whatever. We'd go blow that up and we'd come back and he'd be like, oh, we're gonna have to make this. And I'd like walk around, check the boxes, be like, oh yeah, we need some more metal. And he'd be like, all right, I'm going on a metal run. And he'd go get all the metal. And I'd be like, cool. Great. When you get back, I'm going to build something cool with it.
I play very efficiently, so I only get what I need to get to the next thing that I need. So if I'm eyeing down building the base, I just focus on building the base. If I need a gun, I focus on building a gun. And because I play solo so much, so I'm used to just, all right, this is all I need, and then I'll go out and get more later. I don't ever over grind is the idea. Unless I'm in a group setting. If I'm in a group setting, it's a whole different thing. I'll bring some extra home for other people that aren't grinding as much. And it's always funny with those. But I play a lot of games like that. I like to play harder games usually, like Dark Souls, Tarkov. I consider Rust a harder game. Not everybody can just jump into Rust, Star Citizen. I like high learning curve games.
So tell me about the Star Citizen game, because I kind of might want to get into that, but I don't know.
It takes a really good PC, a really strong graphics card mainly, but it is.
What are you running? What kind of graphics card do you run?
I've got 2 NASA grade computers over here, so.
You got what?
I got 2 NASA grade computers over here.
Okay.
One of them's a 3080 Ti, the other's a 2080 Ti.
How did you get your hands on one of those?
Again, before this session, I mentioned I worked for the railroad for 7 or 8 years, gave up the majority of my life.
Get one.
Oh, the 3080 Ti is a pre-built because it's easier to buy graphics cards right now that are pre-built. The pre-built was $2,300, and currently that's the price of what a 3080 Ti is going for. So I got an entire computer for free for paying the price of the scalped graphics card.
Yeah.
And it's got a 1070 in it as well, and 64 gigs of RAM, and so I got a lot of PC parts for free for just paying the scalp price by going pre-built. Once upon a time, when I first got into building, I would have called anybody a fool for doing a pre-built because the prices just weren't there. You're usually paying like a 50 to 80% markup or whatever. But nowadays, companies can't mark it up to the scalp prices because there is laws to, if you have a dollar item, you can't really sell it for $1,000 unless it's art or some other junction there. Not as a big corporation anyway. So they have to cater their prices to what they are able to afford, and they buy in bulk. So they get the 30 Ti's directly from the factory, so they're not having to pay scalp prices. So they're paying whatever the, if it's a $2,000 graphics card, they may have paid $700 for it or whatever, probably even less in bulk. Bulk is so absurd. So they build a whole computer, and then they price it at the price that they feel they can make money with, and then scalp prices are whatever the internet wants to send it out as, So I got a whole entire PC for the price of the scalp price. So, and that's stuff you want to look at for building today, because the 2080 Ti PC I've had for 5 years now, when the 2080 Ti first came out. And I built it piece by piece, month by month. I had it. I literally had the case in my closet for, I think, 8 months before it ever had a PC part built into it. And that's one of the things that I tell everybody. You don't have, if you're building it and you're okay with the scalp prices, you can buy it in pieces. You can buy it month after month, one little piece here, there, buy the CPU here, there, whatever. Yeah. But if you want to save money, today it's pre-built, and looking into those to get your graphics card. So that's how I did that. But anyway, Star Citizen.
Well, hang on. I got a funny story about that.
Okay, go for it.
So I got a 3060 Ti. The 3080 Ti wasn't out when I got this one. I wanted a 3080, but I couldn't get one of those. So it was I live in Arkansas, and me and another buddy, he was trying to build his computer. He had the money for it, but the only thing is he needed a graphics card that was affordable. And he could buy everything else. I was like, man, you can get everything else, but getting this graphics card is going to be hard. And he's like, well, what can we do? So I get on the internet, and I start looking up micro centers. The closest one to me is in Houston, Texas. Okay. So I called them, and I kind of told them, like, hey, I need a graphics card. I can't get one here. I can't get one on anything without paying something ridiculous for it. And Micro Center was very much against the scalping. I don't know if you know about that, but
yeah, I know about that.
They're like, we're not going to do any online orders. You got to come by it in person, one per person, that type of thing. And so I was like, cool. They're looking out for somebody at least, And so I kind of talked to him and told him, like, look, I can come there on a Friday afternoon, and I will stay up all night outside and wait till Saturday morning to try to get a graphics card. But I need to know that you guys are getting in a shipment. And they would not tell me directly, okay? They would not tell me directly, but I think the girl I talked to had like a little sympathy for me, because she said, and this were her words, she said, well, I can't tell you if there's going to be one for sure, but by looking at when other trucks have come in, it's highly likely that one's going to come in. And I'm like, that's all I need. Okay. And so
that's all I needed.
Buddy literally drove all the way down to Houston, Texas, waited outside of Micro Center all night to get a 3060 Ti. And the only reason I didn't get a 3080 was because they only had 8 of those. And of course, we were in line, but we were probably 40th person in line. And I got there the night before, which is crazy. But to tell you how bad it was, and we got them for good prices. I mean, I got mine for $500 and sold my old card for $500. I had a 1660 Super. I threw it on eBay and said, you know, whatever. And I made my literally, you know, broke even on it. And so I got pretty lucky. I'm not going to lie. But to tell you how crazy it was, when we left Saturday, we got our cards. And of course, we're dog tired, you know, and we leave. There was already people sitting up to stand in line for 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I bought my 2080 Ti like 2.5 or 3 months right before the scalping happened. I bought it for like either $950 or $1,100, and now the 2080 Ti is at like $2,100 or something like that. Goofy number. Like it's almost double the price. And what was so funny was I saw the scalping happen and I went, you know, should I sell it? Like, should I try selling it since it's up price? Because that little thought in the back of my head of how long would the scalping actually last? And then I said to myself, nah, I'm wanting to stream. I'm wanting to do Star Citizen stuff. I want it now. To make a quick, you know, buck or whatever just isn't really worth potentially losing out on not finding it again. And my gosh, I am so glad I didn't sell it, because I would have never found another one.
No.
Never. And I love it.
Something stupid for it.
Yep. And but anyway, back to Star Citizen for a second.
Yeah. Tell me about this, because I haven't really seen anything on it. I saw you talking about it the other day, but I was like, that looks cool.
I don't recommend it for everybody. It's been in the works for 8-ish years now. When I first started it, there was nothing. There was not even a game. There was just concepts and ideas and that kind of stuff. And I thought it was going to be coming out like in a year or so. And I bought a bigger ship at the time. I was working at Walmart. I saved up a little bit of money and I bought a Starfarer. It was like $350 or whatever. Now it's way more than that, because it came with LTI and stuff for being a first-year backer type deal. And I didn't know that it wasn't going to be coming out in like a year. And now it's 8 years and it's still technically not out. It's in beta. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do in the game right now. It is more a simulation of space more so than a game. There's a first-person shooter aspect of it, which is really cool. There's a dogfighting thing, which is really cool. There's racing. But the persistent universe is like, you have to be willing to kind of immerse yourself into the environment of a game for this, because they're not doing things other games do. You have to wipe your visor off. Like, you have to actually hit a button and wipe it off if it gets wet. Like, you have to manage your food, manage your water. If you're flying too fast, you'll have G's and your character will literally pass out. And it doesn't mean you'll wreck unless there's something directly in front of you. You can regain consciousness and recontrol of your vehicle, but like it's very heavy realism simulation. They actually have real G-forces. It's just like actually flying what you would have if they actually were, you know, real spaceships and stuff. And if you're in atmosphere, it's just like flying a plane. If you have flight sticks and stuff like I've got, it is literally the exact same as pretty much flying an airplane, except, you know,
that's crazy.
You know, different stuff. It's basically airplane simulator, but space. And it's a really neat game. It is unlike anything else that I've played. Some people have tried to compare it to No Man's Sky, and that is a completely different topic. It's like comparing CS:GO, Valorant to Call of Duty. They're entirely different styles of games, and while being both shooters, I definitely wouldn't call Call of Duty the same as Counter-Strike.
Sure. Sure.
It's just
I wanted to know if it was like No Man's Sky, because I kind of like No Man's Sky, but I kind of didn't. you know?
The similarity of No Man's Sky is that you can take off of a planet and land.
Yeah.
There's only like, I think there's currently 5 planets in one solar system. They're currently working on a second solar system called Pyro, which is going to be a very lawless, criminal kind of solar system. And it takes time to traverse. Like, you have the ability to quantum drive and quantum leap to planets faster. And the longest quantum drive between Microtech and I believe Orion is like an 8-minute quantum drive, or 10 or something right in there based on your ship. And that's real time. You literally sit here and watch yourself in a tunnel for 8 minutes, and it's not a loading screen. You can stop quantum and just end up in the middle of space. You can jump out of your ship and just be in the middle of space, floating, abandoned. At any, you're actually moving through the map. Like, you're not, like, cool. There's actually ships, there's pirate ships that are dedicated to catching someone out of quantum and basically robbing them. So, you're real time and you're really there moving is the idea. Same thing in like spaceports and stuff. If you're looking out a window, you're seeing a live window view. You can literally take a friend and bring him around to the front of that window, and he can float around in front of that window and stuff. Like, there's nothing that is, kind of faked, is what I'm trying to say. That's and cool. The planets that they have, because there's so few, because No Man's Sky was like copy pasted, random generated
stuff, just put together in different ways.
That's right. And each one of the planets are very hand tooled. They are like, they work very, 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 very long hours on getting these planets to be very unique and different, and everywhere you go is different. Like, if you go here, like on our planet, you can go to the Grand Canyon, you can go to the Mojave Desert or whatever, and you'll see very different stuff, Same thing with Star Citizen. They're trying to really, really do it. And they've done it for 8 years, so some of these planets are close to being done, but they're always tweaking and always adding. It's kind of like the Minecraft update stuff, where Minecraft is always adding more on top of the game that they created before. And they're doing that. So you will always see improvements and whatnot.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out.
But I don't recommend it for everybody. Because A, it's expensive. Tech.
Oh, is it?
Another part of this is your ship is like buying a car. And this is another part of the simulation stuff. You have insurance. If you don't have insurance in real life and you go off and you wreck your car, what happens?
Yeah, your car is gone.
Yep. That is exactly the same in Star Citizen. And if you don't have a ship, you can't get around places, but you can hire in and work underneath somebody. So like for me, I have a Starfarer. It's a tanker ship. It takes more than just one person to run. So if you didn't have a ship and you needed a job, I'd hire you on and we'd go do refueling missions and stuff together, and I'd give you a portion of it or whatever until you could buy a new ship. Now, insurance is going to be affordable, but it works just like here. You wreck with insurance, you pay a deductible, you pay that, you get your car back usually. And you pay your insurance monthly with in-game credits, not real-life money. For the most part, everything can be done in-game perfectly fine, but the monetary system that they have in place is a lot similar to real life, okay? If I gave you a Dodge Caravan, and you had no credentials and whatever, you could probably get yourself a minimum wage job and do, minimal work type deal. But if I gave you a tanker ship that hauls, thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel, and it was yours and that was your company, you could make a lot more than Dodge Caravan Man, right?
Yeah.
Same premise. So you can start the game as a Dodge Caravan Man for like $45. But like, if you want a good ship and you have a minimum wage job, how long would it take you to buy, in real life, a big rig for like 200,000 tanker big rig, it would take a long time. And they have it simulated that way. So if you want a big ship, you would either have to work a really long time or kind of skirt your way up through the ship. So, you start with your little Winnebago Aurora and buy yourself a better ship, and then buy yourself a better ship, and then buy yourself a better ship. And then slowly you'll be able to do missions that make you more money. And eventually you can save enough money to buy a really bigger ship. Or you can spend real life money like me and have a ship. And that's where lifetime insurance is what made my Starfarer so expensive. Because in the first year, they gave out lifetime insurance to anybody that was buying ships and stuff. So I essentially don't ever have to worry about insurance. I just have my big rig ship forever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But that's Star Citizen. You play anything like Tarkov or Dark Souls?
So I actually do have Tarkov. Played it. I'm like one of those guys that I hate to watch a ton of YouTube videos on games to see like what it's all about and everything, or not like what it's about, but like how to play it. I don't want to. I'd rather figure out a game like by myself, because that's part of it. I want the problem of figuring out a game and doing that on my own. But I quickly realized after playing Tarkov that this is not the game for that. This is definitely the game you want to talk to somebody that's played it before and kind of see what's going on. Because I played it for like 2 or 3 days, and I think I lost everything I had, and I was like, okay, maybe this isn't the game for me, But I loved like all the realistic aspects of it. But it just seemed like every time I got into a fight, I would, unless I just completely snuck up on somebody, I died, and it wasn't, there wasn't anything I could do about it. I'm like, why did I die? Why did I lose that? I didn't, understand. But did we lose audio?
Sorry, I had a quick phone call.
Oh.
Anyway, no, I totally understand like the gear loss things. For me, okay, and I could show you Tarkov and all that kind of stuff if you ever wanted to sit down with me on it. I actually have, I'm actually in the process of working on making a very short 5-minute, like, this is what you need to do, so that you don't have to like, watch a whole lot of things. 'Cause what's funny about the Tarkov guides is there's a ton of really long-winded guides out there, and I want to make a quick go do this. Here's the settings you need. Buy these, sell these, run. And I know I can do it because I've already made a draft video about it. But I have had a similar experience on Tarkov with you that you've had. I've been playing it for probably a year, maybe 2. But I'll have these little spurts where I'll play it for like 3 or 4 days, and then I'll come back to it, and then I'll play it for 3 or 4 days, and then I'll come back to it, and learn a little bit more each time, because I didn't have time to really sink my teeth into it. And recently I've decided to sink my teeth into it, and I've just been loving it because I've found a build that really works for me, and I've been just running in there and just having so much fun.
Yeah.
So
I probably need to try it again, man. I just, like I said, I got in it. I think I lost everything I had, and then every time I'd play, I would die, and usually it wasn't even to like real players. It was to like the scavs. Yeah. I would die to those, and it would be like I would see them take a few shots at them, and hit them, and then I'd have to get behind cover, and then like I would poke my head real quick, and boom, I'd be dead. And I was like, what in the world? And so I couldn't understand like what was going on, but probably user error.
No, that's just scavs. Scavs are very difficult at early levels before you have like really good helmets and body gear armor, because what it is based on what weapon that scav has makes them so much more deadly, because they are fairly accurate. If you find a scav with a shotgun, he's going to stand at the other end of the road and try to shoot you with a shotgun. It's just never going to do anything to you. But if you get one of those that have a better rifle, or like a Vepr or something like that, they'll pop you in the head. We call them sniper scavs, and really the only thing you can do is get them before they get you, or sneak up on them. You know, use your sound and terrain to your advantage, so to speak. Because they are mostly sound oriented and sight oriented. So if you can get behind them and stay quiet and slowly walk, you can pretty easily sneak up on them and just pop them.
Yeah.
The good news, like I said, at the lower level you are and the lower armor and stuff that you have, the more likely you're going to die to a scav. When you get to where you have really your higher end gear and stuff, scavs become almost nothing. You can just run around the field and not care, because they're almost never going to kill you. If you got tier 5, tier 6 like helmets and stuff, like you're never going to get one shot at and dead. But Tarkov is one of those games, man. It's unlike really any other game that's out there. It's an experience that, you know, it's not for everybody, you know.
No, it's not for sure. Well, you got any more questions for me, I guess?
Yeah, I got one last one. It's something that I always ask towards the end. It is something that my community has always wanted to know from people that come onto the podcast. And that is, do you watch any anime?
No, I do not.
Fair enough. That's easy enough for me.
No, I do not watch any anime. I actually have friends that are into it, and I make fun of them, or I don't make fun of them. I poke fun at them, you know. But no, I never watch any anime. The only thing that you could say that I guess anime wise, when I was little, is I used to love the Pokemon anime, you know. But if you can call that anime, but not real. I don't know. I don't really classify that as anime. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I was so in love with Pokemon games when I was a kid that it didn't matter. Whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, I always recommend it to people because it's everybody's, like anybody, even my parents who hate anime. Okay. If you like cars or racing in general, or just engines, give Redline a look at, because it's a love letter to the entire genre, and it's genuinely like, if you ever watch Speed Racers, so to speak, or Wacky Racers, where they go through and they have the cars and they're like funny, like it's the old cartoon Wacky Racers, very, very old cartoon. It's a lot like that, but in an anime style. And I recommend it to everybody, even people that don't like anime, because it's genuinely different, and it's entirely hand drawn. It's like 238,000 like hand drawn pictures or whatever, and it's a beautiful little anime, especially for people that like vehicles and stuff. But other than that, I don't really have anything else. So,
did you say that this guy knew who I was? I was like, what? I knew who I was. Is this the guy?
McBro, yeah. McBro said something to me before the stream that he recognized your name or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. Well, nice to talk to you, man.
Anybody have any questions for Red? Any of them at all? Feel free to ask him, and go ahead and finish your statement there.
Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, man, holler out at me in a stream, man. I'll give you a little shout out, you know, if I see it. Dude, that's the one bad thing about TikTok, is like when you're streaming on there, on my phone, and my comment section is literally like this big. I can see like 4 or 5 comments, depending on how big some of them are, and it goes, they pop up, and then they pop up to the next, and then they pop up to the next, and then it goes to the next, and I can't stop and see them. You know, it's like if they had put it on my computer, I could put them in Streamlabs and I'd be able to see them. No, they won't they're not gonna let me do that. They're gonna let us do that. Oh yeah. What is a cleric? I mean, I guess I'm not, but I don't know what that is.
It's a type of class from Dungeons and Dragons in most video games. The healer, cleric, clergyman. Technically, you're a cleric in a way.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I am like a pastor full time in a church that's not to be named, but yeah, I do work in a church full time. You know, the streaming I do on TikTok is not like a source of income or anything. So somebody said, like, they said, you're just streaming on TikTok to make money. I'm like, if you saw how much money I've made from this, you would not say that. Because it was like, after 24 hours of streaming, it was like a little thing said, here you go, here's $15. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of money there, you know.
Shoot, you're doing better than me on there, man. I got, you know, we're at 16,000 followers. I routinely get about 12,000 to 24,000 views. Sometimes I get 100,000, and I'll get 27 cents.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing, you know. But I considered playing Ferret class. That's cool.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on, man. You have been a wonderful guest and conversation, and I welcome your time and the energy that you've put into this. Genuinely, thank you. But if you have any closing remarks or anything you'd like to tell people that may watch this in the future, I will mention that you are technically the first episode of season 2. So anybody that goes to watch season 2, you're first up online.
Oh, nice, cool. Well, man, appreciate having me on, man. I didn't expect that. You know, I was like, so I was like, look, somebody invited me to a podcast, and she's like, go away, you know. But you know, it was I was super excited about it, you know. But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. If you guys want to find me, you can come follow me. My account's at RedThePastor on TikTok. I'm RedThePastor in on here too. See, there it is. And you guys can come follow me. haven't done anything on Twitch in a long time. And if I do, it's going to be because I'm not on TikTok or they've banned me from TikTok again. So, which I think at this point is probably inevitable. I probably will get banned again for probably nothing, but you know, whatever. So,
you know, it just reminded me the blacksmith guy that I was talking about that's been on here, Freedom 2. He's been banned several times over pine needles because it goes against like vaccine mandates and stuff. Apparently, what? Pine needles. I know, it's crazy, but he is regularly banned over pine needles.
Pine needles?
So no, I'm not joking.
Well, pine needles on what? Like, what?
Apparently there's something you can do with pine. I don't know, and I'm not endorsing this. I have no idea what I'm talking about here. I just see what I see. But apparently you can make like pine needle tea, and it apparently like stops something.
I've never heard of that. But like, yeah, exact censorship. Oh.
But think about that though, like, as something as simple as like a home remedy is not okay apparently.
Wow. Oh, yeah, you got a subscriber. Yep. There you go. Boom.
Yep. But I appreciate you being on here. You know, maybe come back on some other time if you'd like to.
Yeah, man. Sure. No problem. As soon as I get out of school, my schedule will greatly clear in a lot of ways. So, and I can't wait.
But yeah, stay tuned for more. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.
Thanks.